Picture the scene. You're a man or woman that loves cars. You've always had nice cars, you've always had hot hatches and things like that. But now the time in your life has come where you've earned enough money to be able to go out and buy something a little bit more outrageous. It should have 400 horsepower plus. It's got to be rear driven. And once you bought this car, you now need to go somewhere to learn how to drive it properly. You want to get the most out of all of the performance and really enjoy what you've bought. So we've come here to this little track down in the south of Wales, Llandow, and you're going to need someone to teach you how to drive it properly. You maybe have a mate who, he's an author now, say, but he used to do a little bit of racing in his past. Only small events like Le Mans and things like that. Maybe he's done a little bit of TV work. He's doubled as James Bond and Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious. Maybe he worked on a small little pokey show on the BBC called Top Gear. Yes, everyone, we have managed to get Ben Collins, aka the Stig, to come down and give us a masterclass in drifting, driving, power sliding, you name it. Let's go burn some rubber. Thank you so much for coming along and doing this with us.
Pleasure.
So I got you an M2 CS to teach me basically how to drift it. I want to learn how to power slide, how to drift it properly. I could do little things, but nothing. I'd want a big smoky slide at the end of a corner and look like an absolute hero. Can you teach me how to do that?
Well, you've got a BMW, so you're off to a good start because it's rear-wheel drive. With this one being automatic, you're going to have less, you've got to have the clutch kick to initiate drift, but it has got a handbrake and 440 odd horsepower, so you should be able to get a slide on. But if you've taken this car on the track, you're going to realise that it's super performance oriented. It's got so much grip that it's going to resist your efforts to drift at every corner. So I would suggest that we start with looking at the track, getting the maximum performance out of the car on these very grippy Michelins, and then you'll just start to feel the car tipping over into oversteer. I think that's probably the right way to approach it.
Driving this on the road, I did a review on this a couple of weeks ago. It feels to me like it's quite spiteful in the wet.
Spiteful maybe is a little harsh. I mean, the thing with these tyres, the Pilot, Sport Cup 2s, I mean, they're built, again, for performance, for maximum grip. So on a dry track, they're going to stick like glue. They're still very grippy in the wet. That's good and bad. Okay. The bad is that the cornering speeds are very, very high. And when you start to slide, it happens very, very quickly because you're falling from a very high level and suddenly you're getting this drop in grip and it slides very quickly. Yeah. Being short wheelbase, it is quite pointy, which I think is what you've sensed just on the road environment. It's quite snatchy and you've got to be very, very quick to pick it up. Ironically, to get the car sliding, where you would want to have that stab of power just to start to flick the car into a drift. The torque in this is sort of mid-range. There's a slight delay as the turbos get going before you get that response, by which time you're in some trouble, particularly in the rain. So it definitely, there's a nuance to driving this thing and getting it and feeling balanced and feeling like you're in control. So you are right, it's quite a stiff car. There's a lot of movement and it is a little bit twitchy. But once you get it into the slide, if you're confident enough to flick-flack it, use the weight transfers to keep the car going with momentum, that's quite rewarding. And you can stay on the gas and it's sliding on a slippery track at quite a high speed. Okay, well, shall we get out and have you drive first? Yep. You show me what you've literally just said, and then we'll see if I can recreate it afterwards. Deal. Let's do it. Yeah, that's wicked. Let's do it. Full disclaimer, we've both had a COVID test for this particular track video. Right, so it's really raining now. Is that a good thing though? Well, I mean, the car's going to start reacting much sooner than it would in the dry, obviously. And I think it's a good way to learn the foibles of a machine and really, it's going to show everything up a lot sooner for us. Yeah. And Llandow is, it's a short track, but there's a lot going on here. There's some quite punchy, fast corners. This one onto the pit straight definitely gets your attention because it goes on forever. And particularly with this car, that's a torque build, you've got to watch out as you come onto the straight. And we might even get some aquaplane with the amount it's raining. The brakes are fantastic, so these carbon ceramics really soak up the energy into this tight little chicane, which is worth doing because we're going to really find that the side-to-side weight transfers here are going to help when you get into your drifting mode.
Okay.
But to begin with, if we focus on good lines, trying to stay clean and keep the tail in check, I think you're going to start to bond more with it for when you then go beyond the limit. But you can feel it start to chirrup up a little bit, even in third gear, coming out of those quick corners. Quite cautious here because the camber just drops away enough just to lighten the rear up. And the same with this long right-hander. You feed the power in slowly, but because the track falls away, it just wakes you up on the way out.
Gosh, that's alarming on the way out of there.
It's got a serious amount of torque, and it does really start to ripple through the rear axle in that mid-range, as opposed to right early on. This is me trying to be delicate with the power. The traction's off, so we can just get a feel for it, but very slippery here.
Whoa! Gosh, it goes quickly.
It's lively.
It
Very
really
fast.
goes quickly.
So actually, I'll put this in Sport Plus mode, and I might just take that down a notch because, to be fair, it was probably stiff enough in the regular mode.
Oh,
Right, so that's Sport Plus.
I need new shorts.
There we go. Comfort. Well, this should be more comfortable now.
Oh. Okay.
I doubt it'll be much different. The fact is, the chassis is very rigid, so it will make the most of the tyres. But when it goes very, very quickly. When you wanted a challenge, right?
Yeah, I did, to be fair, and this I think is quite a challenging little car. Here we go. Right. What's that scrubbing?
So that's just a little vibration going through the tyres. It's scratching along the surface there, and it just gets a shimmy on.
Is it because it's trying to grip?
Yeah. This one I think is the one to be most just wary of. The grip definitely falls away on the way out. There's like two sections of tarmac with completely different levels of grip. So you just when you think that it's okay, you switch into the less grippy stuff. But when you get into your drifting, this is a good one. So you've got a little bit of side to side, so I just switch it in here, and it's got an amazing amount of grip. Even in the rain like this, it wants to fall back into grip, so I have to use quite a lot of power to keep it going.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
But the return to grip is almost as fast as the drop off, and you've got to be fairly quick with the steering to react to that, to not overcorrect and end up facing the wrong way.
I mean, you're doing a lot of work. I mean, it's a...
If you can call it work, yeah.
It looks like it to me. Oh my God, this corner is terrifying.
It really is. So you've got these two patches. This is nice here, nice and grippy, and this grey stuff on the way out is completely different.
No. Oh my God.
So yeah, getting a couple of little puddles. But if I just take it in here a bit more gently.
I like this corner.
Yeah, and just pick up the power, get us into slide. Keep the power on.
Whoa! They were big uns. Yes, that's the one.
I'm amazed actually though, even now it's completely saturated, that I'm having to really stab the throttle to break traction. And even in the drift, you think, oh, okay, you know, we're sliding, track's wet, and you've still got to give it an absolute boot full. 444 horsepower. And the car will take it just wants to shoot you out the corner.
Oh, I don't feel like I've got the minerals for this corner, if I'm totally honest. There's a lot of tyres on the left-hand side that you can't see.
Yeah.
And there's the way it feels to me and the way it just goes so quickly.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think this little slower section here is a good place to just practice that weight transfer. And we'll try and build ourselves up to the quicker bits.
The little flick flack, I'll be very happy if I could get a couple of those.
Yeah.
I'll be very happy with that. Because I don't mind a car moving around underneath me a little bit, but it's the stuff when you're going big numbers. When there are 3 numbers on the dashboard.
Yeah. Well,
just everything happens so much faster.
What we'll also do, when you want to, we'll start with track mode, but ultimately if you want to slide the car, I'll take the speed down.
Yeah.
Bring it in slower, and from there I can get it into a drift much easier, like this. I still got but with the speed high, the reaction when you fall off is that much quicker.
Yeah.
So when we want to deliberately make it slide, it's better to slow it down.
Yeah.
And just do this piecemeal.
Okay.
So okay, I'm going to take this corner, slow it down, get it sliding.
So you get it turned in, you get the grip over the front wheels.
Yeah. And try and link these together a little bit.
Go on.
But it is busy. In grip, out of grip. And this corner here as well, it just wants to just move on the way out.
Yeah.
Just right at the end. So you've always got to expect the unexpected, I think, in this track, with this car, on these tyres, that fast drop off, very easy to catch you out.
Okay.
Does that kind of make sense?
And I understand the whole theory behind getting the front end in. I understand, and then overwhelming the rear tyres to try and get it to go, and then be quick with the steering, catch it, bit of throttle, then out the other side.
Nice. What I would suggest is that you take the car out, get a feel for it, don't overcook it. I'm not going to sit in the car and put pressure on you.
Okay.
And I'm going to watch what you do here, and you know I think once you've done a couple of laps, just to get your head around the sort of the level of grip, you'll feel the G-forces and everything. We'll focus on this little tight section.
Okay. I'm happy with that. This feels like, you know, it'd be difficult to crash it here. Famous last words. I'm pretty nervous now, if I'm honest. We got it in comfort, we got it in efficient. We got the steering in sport. I don't want that. I want the steering in comfort because I'm weak and I can't steer fast enough. We have traction off at the moment. I'm going to turn it into MDM mode, which in a BMW, if you know that, makes you look like a bit of a hero, and I then can do a slide and he'll be all impressed and everything, and then we'll get back and see what he says. Right, so we want manual mode.
He's taking his sweet time. I don't know what he's doing in there, but perhaps I should have shown him how to get first gear. I don't know. No, he's driven before. Forward motion.
And off we go. Ready to go. Here we go.
And that is why I'm not in the passenger seat for his first lap.
Oh, he caught it. Oh dear, there's a lot of action going on there. My word.
He's gone straight in like a hooligan, but who can blame him?
Okay, so as we can see there, MDM mode works like an absolute treat. So if, like me, feel like you need a little bit of help on the limit, like this, then you are catered for in an M2 CS. Whoa. Whoa. She's already, oh God almighty. Right, now let's turn it all the way off and see what happens. Here we go. Right, it's all off. Whoa!
You can see it really shaking around. With the car, all it wants to do is get itself back to being in grip, and even in these wet conditions, it's incredible how much it's compensating and trying to bring it back into a straight line. So he's trying to do the opposite, and you can see this battle between him fighting the steering and stabbing the gas, try and send it sideways, and the car sort of bringing it back into a straight line.
It's not as easy as it looks at all. It's just all getting away from me a little bit.
It's raining quite heavily now as well, so we may start to get a few puddles forming, a bit of aquaplane in the straight, which I hope he's prepared for.
The power delivery is coming in so fast that it then is, yeah, it's, all right, here we go again, let's try it again, see what happens. I tried to style that one out, but that wasn't very good.
Like that, started out, pretended like he meant to do a donut. He spun.
Talk to me, what do you think?
It's good, what do you think?
I think it goes way quicker. than I was expecting it to in the beginning.
Yeah.
You get there through that first one and you can catch it and you can feel, but then it's like once it's over rotated, it's just gone.
Yeah.
Like it's just completely gone.
How's this pit straight? Because that looks quite fun.
Horrible.
Yeah. Well, I can see, and you can see it moving around. The car's trying to fight. Through this piece, though, yeah, you're just into the throttle that bit too long, but it's a hand-eye thing. But you'll get it.
So it's just more of a stab, come off it, catch it, more throttle.
Something like that. But I might jump back in with you.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go rounds, and I'll be able to, you know, as in real time, then try and help you just dial in that last nth degree on the gas.
Okay.
Because I know those donuts were on purpose, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to start it out, but you know, I made it look like I was doing 360.
Yeah. And how are you finding the quick corners?
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible, horrible, horrible. Because it's leaning and you can feel where the level of grip is. And that's where I'm comfortable. So driving all these fast cars and stuff that I get to drive all the time, I'm comfortable on the sort of 9/10, if you like, on the edge. But as it goes, you can get that little, oh, that's nice. It's the when it goes, you're like.
Well, what I'll do is I'll jump in, then you get you to brake later into this corner, because you're doing the right thing in the straight, so you don't want to aquaplane off.
Yeah.
We're going to brake deeper here and really try and carry some speed in. So then what we're going to do is go faster through the corners, and then I'm going to go back to the drifting later.
Oh, okay.
I think is a good way to do it, because then you'll just have that bit of extra feeling under your belt. Cool.
Sounds good. So we got traction off.
Traction off. I thought it was good for you to get a couple of laps out of your system. I knew you're desperate to throw it sideways. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try and keep the car in grip.
Okay.
I want you to prevent the car sliding, but we're going to go fast.
Okay.
So smooth, controlled, no sliding.
Okay.
I'm glad that went in. Okay, good stuff. So this one's second, which I think you've got pretty much dialed.
Yeah.
So nice and gentle. You're going to notice it's going to want to start sliding. That's good. Up to third. And just mind out on the exit with this one. As it just starts to stand up on the way out of the corner, the tail does wag a little bit. Cool. Okay, up to fifth.
Sorry.
So, what?
What? Do you want me to go up or not?
Did you fart?
No, but I felt it was very needed to go up a gear.
It didn't need to go up a gear, no. It was fine in fourth. We don't need fifth at all. Maybe on the drive home. Mind the exit. It drops away. Nasty tarmac. Pit wall. Good, okay. Fourth is fine. Leave it in fourth. A bit faster, bit faster, bit faster, bit faster, bit faster, bit faster. Brake! Okay, great. So we can brake later than that. We're down a second. Brake harder. Here we go. So front grip's good, isn't it? Feel the nose very well. That's it. It's all right. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Despite all that steering, it's getting back to grip. That shuddering is the tyre fighting for to get its teeth into the blacktop.
I went too early there.
And we're in third, which is good. Gonna give it full beans now. Don't trust the straights. Brakes now, because it's wet enough now. You might break traction in a straight line as well. Good. You give it a little. It will slide even on this bit. So you're good. You're progressive with the power, which is good. In we go. Get it into the apex, all the way in. Get on that way. That's it. All right. There we go. A little bit of a puddle there. Nice. Okay. Feed it in. Be good. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. We're just starting to get a bit of aquaplane. So basically, the water is separating the tyre from the surface, which is never good. It gives us that shimmy. But we'll just focus on the corners. Interesting steering technique there. You went back to the BSA School of Driving. The old shuffle. Milking the cow. So I would recommend you keep with the racing driver credo, 2:45.
Okay.
Okay, and just try and stay within those boundaries.
Yep.
This straight I trust. The other one is going to become a big deer in a minute. Okay, good. Hard on the brakes. That's it, good. And the third, you can release brake now and carry good speed through here. But believe it or not, I mean, even with this amount of standing water, we'd still be racing in this.
No.
So, oh yeah.
Oh no, thank you.
And you really are. And I don't want you to do this.
Oh, hello.
Because it just takes one puddle and it can poke you in. Okay, good stuff. Down to seconds, very nice. Good. Okay, keep the power on. Not quite that much.
Oh dearie me.
It's good though, because you got, you know, good feeling. you're putting the power in smooth. So there, the change in grip happens very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So you do need to get a lot of steering on at that time.
Okay, should we do some drifting now?
Yeah, we'll do some drifting now.
So second into here,
Yep.
you're just going to see what I do.
Not so fast. Okay, now accelerate. Whoa. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Much better. And to the right. That's good. So timing it with the steering.
Yeah.
You want to try and get yourself further to the left before you take that right, because you're running out of space. And then we'll try and link those two corners so you can drift from one to the next.
Okay, it's getting grip back very, very abruptly.
Yep.
So it feels like anytime I've ever done anything that's, you know, getting the back to move around in one of these cars,
Yep.
you know, you can sort of progressively feel the power and grip, the grip coming back with the power, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So when it makes that transition, the trick to making it less abrupt is to have wheel spin.
Okay.
It just makes the tyre feel more gooey.
Okay, yes, that's exactly.
It will just slow it down as it goes across. The only problem is that also if you overdo it, it's going to make you want to spin.
Okay.
So you have to have a little bit of trust with that. And also we're going to think about where we're putting you on the track. So we're good in here. This is just setup phase. Longer curvature, that's it. So set her up. Keep the power on. More. Okay, not quite. Reset.
But you see what I mean? I'm so close to like that. I understand it all in theory in my head.
Yep.
It's just it's the fact that you don't get this opportunity very often.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On public roads, you don't get to do
Well,
this.
it's an unnatural feeling, and linking two corners particularly.
And what would you say to people that are watching this? What would you say to them? Would you say to them, go and try this on a closed circuit and try and see what you can do?
Yeah.
If you have bought one of these, or you know something along these lines, what would be your advice?
Well, you've picked a tough place to do this because the walls are all very close everywhere we go. So I would say a big expanse of tarmac. You know, you go to some of these tracks or airfields where there's huge amounts of open space and less cones.
I've got that first initial one, and I can feel it feels good on the throttle, and it feels like I could slide round a corner like that, but the transition
Straight
is
into it.
not necessarily what.
Transition won't send it sideways. This car, the M2 is so stiff. It's all got to be on the power. Yes. Go on, yeah. Good. So the side-to-side action, it's really it's so much dependent on the power to help it through that, and so you got it there.
Yeah.
But to get the finesse that I know that you're desperate to get, the absolute, right nailing on the head, you've got to have the wheel spinning just as it will just make that transition smoother.
There's a lot going on.
There's a
lot going on.
There's a lot.
And there's an awful lot happening in your head that you're the computing power that you need to be able to. I know it comes second nature to you, but to me, yes, I've spent a lot of time in cars. Yes, I've done a lot in cars, but it's that whole thing of having it as second nature. This is the computing power I'm having to use. I'm going to sleep well tonight.
Yeah, and the thing is, your brain will be working on this, and the good and the bad thing, or the annoying thing is, you'll wake up, you give your mind a rest, you come back refreshed, and it figures out what you've been trying to work on, but it's not something you're going to nail first time. Power!
Ah, get in!
That was much better. I can only use volume, really, to try and encourage you, but it works.
Yeah.
And
my teachers always used to say that to me at school.
I bet they did.
Just shout louder.
But they had a stick as well. You can do this.
Right, here we go.
Take a wide line.
Wide.
A little bit. Power! So I have to use volume, to encourage your right foot. Oh my lord.
Woohoo!
Very good.
I couldn't help it but try and do the third one.
And so I don't blame you. I do think you've got another one in you that's going to be slightly better than that. This is going to sound odd, but going into the right hander, the way you're beginning this, just add 1 mile an hour.
1 mile an hour?
Maybe 2.
I don't know how fast I've been going in.
That's it.
Is that better?
Power! I ran out of oxygen.
Woohoo! That was good!
I feel like such a dork.
I'm happy with that.
It's great.
Sound like Joby Clarkson.
But you have, it's a funny thing with it, once the car has the attitude, you absolutely have to slam the accelerator to get it to keep going. and it's counterintuitive. So yeah.
Oh, I'm happy with that last one though.
I sound like Jeremy Clarkson, do I?
No.
Well, I've achieved something.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, he's made a career out of shouting power, hasn't he?
He
Power!
has. I'm dead chuffed for you. That was spot on. And you broke through that psychological barrier. The counterintuitive, like you know that if you've got too much wheel spin, it spins. But at that moment that it's tipped sideways, that's when you give it 100% throttle.
It felt better in everything that I did. It just felt more natural. It felt like the tyres were, that gooiness, as you were saying, on the tyre. You could feel the tyre spinning behind me. There wasn't any of that juddering or any of that.
Oh, they're gooey now.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Anyway, not
good
much
job.
there. Thank you so much for coming along and doing this. It's been brilliant. I hope you guys have all enjoyed watching it. Go along, try and do it yourself, and obviously in a controlled environment. Don't do it on the an A36 or something.
And get more space.
Yeah.
This guy with his tight track, but we love Llandow.
Yeah, we do love Llandow.
And now you know what it's like trying to drift a stiff car.
Yeah.
This is built for grip. So it's not, and the beautiful thing about this BM is that it's not like it's in train tracks. When you're driving, you can feel the weight transfer. The brakes are amazing. The carbon ceramics just eat the speed, and you can be pinpoint when you're trying to drive a racing lap. But when you do try and drift it, you get that stiffness is aggressive.
Yeah.
So it's just challenging.
That was brilliant. Get a Stig. Get a Stig. Go to a racetrack. Hire it out. It's great.